welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a video where I'm going to talk about an archetype that is often overlooked. If you watch my channel before, you know how much I love to talk about these different archetypes or these different selves within, because I find that they're so elemental to understand in order to really be able to kind of see the different timelines that are at play within our subconscious, and also choose what timelines we want to pull in and experience in our lives. And so in this video, first I'm going to be talking a little bit, and then I'm going to do a tarot reading, I think, and I'm going to be talking about the inner animal. So I have the Knight card here, the Knight of Wands, and all of the knights in the tarot really shows this archetype of the inner animal. But it's almost as if we're blind to it because we're only noticing the rider. You know, it's like the Knight of Wands. It's not, the horse doesn't have a voice in this card, you know, the horse doesn't have a choice. It's just there kind of to serve the knight. And so this is very much kind of a template, a blueprint of our current day societies, but also our current day psyches. You know, the knight in this case, he is seen as the light. He is the director. He is the one leading the animal. He is the owner, in a sense, of the animal. And the animal is just the mass. You know, the animal is just the workhorse. It's just there to serve the ideas of the knight. So like I said, if you look at our societies with a little bit of a critical eye, you kind of see this tendency that there are a certain few individuals that are seen as the special ones, you know, the ones that are a bit more intelligent than all of the others. They're a bit more of a light. And so they get given more resources so that they can kind of herd more of these animals, more of these kind of like lower grade people that work on the floor and that don't really have a voice or a choice on what they want to take part in a lot of the times. You know, they don't have a lot of options a lot of the times because they lack resources. And so this same type of model of blueprint we can find within ourselves. The knight is the ego, right? It's the one in charge. It's the one that directs all of the other cells in the body that oftentimes are without a voice. You know, we don't listen necessarily to the cells in our body that says, actually, I don't want to move forward right now. I'm tired. I need to rest. If the knight is in charge, you know, the big man, the big light, he's going to be like, you are here to serve me. You're lazy, you know, get your shit together. You're bonded to my will. You just have to do what I tell you to do until you get sick, basically. So this archetype is kind of prevalent, and if you pay notice to your own inner kind of dynamic, you are very likely to notice this within. It's very much the blueprint of patriarchy in a way. Having this one big shot, this one big light, getting most of the resources and kind of directing the whole show, and not giving much value to all of the other selves, all of the other individuals. They never get to develop their potential, you know, their voice, their truth, their light. And so this is what is changing now. This type of dynamic is really being put under a lot of pressure. And I think we're going to see this in a number of ways. I may actually get back to this in future videos. I don't want to kind of like overload this one video with a lot of information. So yeah, let's actually jump into the tarot reading now and just see what comes out for this archetype. So what I want to do in this video is actually give space, more space to the inner animal. I'm gonna ask what the inner animal is needing right now. Because I have intuitively felt for some time that we're moving into a time where the inner animal is gaining their voice back. We will see this again on a societal level. The masses will suddenly have a will. You know, they will start to speak up more and not just be driven by these big lights, by these perceived authorities. And the same may be true within our own body. The voice of the cells in our body that haven't been getting a lot of light, you know, a lot of energy, a lot of blood, these are going to start to speak up louder. You're going to hear them more, and they may demand more rest and more free space and more free time to continue to run, you know, continue to run smoothly. And so that's something that I've definitely experienced after I started the awakening. I need so much more rest. And I'm getting the message that if you don't rest, you know, your body may not function as well as you would like. You know, it's important to give yourself rest. So that's why I want to let the animals speak in this reading. Okay, so let me shut up and tune into the animal. Okay, I'm feeling this card wanting to come out. Wow, Anima Mundi. This is a very cool card. I feel like this is, you know, it's the pentagram. First of all, you see the star shape here. It's the pentagram. It's the 5-pointed star. A lot of the times I will see this at the same time as when I'm seeing like a hand with 5 fingers. To me, this is the awakening of humanity. Because a lot of the times the hand is a symbol of humanity. If you think about what really separates us from the animals, it is in many ways the hands, you know, and the hands are important because they allow us to break things down physically. And if we can break things down physically, then we can see, it's like our mind learns how things were put together in the first place. You know, we learn about the inner workings of things. But right now I feel like we're moving into a time where it's kind of about learning the inner workings of our astral selves, you know, of our non-material selves, the spiritual selves. Like I talked about these archetypes. I feel like that knowledge, actually building that knowledge within the writer, you know, within our egos, or the part of us that has been used to being the director, building that knowledge of these different parts, that is actually, it feels like it's necessary, it's elemental, it's foundational to us even being able to begin to give more space to the inner animal. And so I really feel here knowledge is key. You know, knowledge also of the 5 different chakras, from the root to the throat. They symbolize this 5-pointed star. And so I'm not going to go into that, all of that symbolism. There is a lot of symbolism here. If you ever feel like you want to study this type of symbolism, it's very interesting and it's very rich. But let me keep it at that and pull some tarot cards as well. It's just starting to become aware of your own consciousness and how rich it is. You know, how multifaceted it actually is. I'm just feeling that comes with like a huge amount of joy and gratitude. And, you know, actually starting to really honor yourself, like as a being on a completely new level. It's like your ego bowing down to yourself, not because you're this great light that can direct people and that can make things happen, but because of your incredible nature, you know, because of like the layers of what you are. That's what I'm feeling. So it's a completely new way of seeing ourselves and honoring ourselves that is emerging now. And when we do that, you know, when we let that be the blueprint of our inner authority, again, it's gonna start to materialize externally as well. Most of the people at this point in time are not aware of their subconscious. And so if the ones that are the ones that are creating for the highest good of all, then the rest of the people that are not aware, they are just gonna be, in a sense, bound to these blueprints of heaven on earth, because they will just be playing out whatever blueprint is the strongest within the collective consciousness. And again, everyone can choose to awaken their free will by tuning in. If we choose to not awaken our free will, we are going to be bound to whatever exists within the collective matrix. And so, yeah, that's just what I'm getting. That's just how it is. It's kind of like how reality is built up. In the same way like gravity, we can't really change it at this point in time, at least. So let's see. Okay, wow, yeah. That is funny. So Son of Wands coming out in reverse. And Seven of Swords. Yeah, it's like underneath the deck was the Five of Wands, the Five of Swords, Seven of Swords, and then Son of Wands. You know, the Knight of Wands coming out in reverse. Not in the upright. It's asking us to slow down. Don't push yourself at this time. If your body is clearly signaling that it doesn't want to, like if your body is saying, I don't want to be seen right now, don't push yourself to be that light. Instead, let yourself discover the dark. You know, let yourself discover the things that are yet to be known to your inner rider, you know, the director of your ship. Yeah, I'm feeling this is when we take that light and we go internal with it, instead of always trying to climb to get higher and to get kind of like above more people externally in a materialistic sense. For many of us, I feel like we're feeling so cold to instead just go deeper. It's like we're going back into the earth somehow, back into the roots, to understand more about what we are as a body, as a life, you know, as a being, not just an ego, this superficial light. I feel like for a lot of you, you have way more purpose than being this superficial rider, kind of like a little bit of a narcissist. I feel like you're like a deep empath, deeply in tuned with all life, actually. So just be aware of this, that if your body is asking you of this, like, it's because it's the right way. That's what I'm feeling. It's the right path. It's gonna make your life easier. Yes, at first it's gonna maybe be difficult because people around you are gonna think that you're strange or that you're doing things in the wrong way. So it can be difficult, but in the long term, it's following your heart, right? It's following like your body, what your body tells you, what, like, kind of like your wisdom, what it tells you to do. So I would definitely support you in doing that. Definitely, definitely. Wow. Wow. Yeah, this is very interesting. And also underneath the deck now is the Two of Cups, and the Star came out, but in the reverse. But when it flipped, so it came out upright, but then it flipped, and what I was kind of getting was this like shooting star, like grounding itself into the earth. And when that happens, it's almost like it's going to start growing. It's going to start growing. That's what I'm getting. And look now how this has turned as well. And it's actually in the position of, you know, the devil, you know, the demonic cross. It's about going into the dark, I feel, for a lot of you, going into the shadow, facing these demons that have been created a lot of the times because of these superficial writers, these superficial directors. There's a lot of anger as well within the inner animal at this point in time. A lot of self-hate, you know, because it's generations of essentially being treated like animals when in fact we are all human with a divine purpose. You know, we all have that star within. And so I feel with this that you may also be dealing with quite a lot of anger and rage and like violent feelings as well. So even more reason to create space around yourself so you don't have to manifest from these feelings if you don't choose to. Because of course these feelings are, it's like what I'm feeling is that if we manifest from these feelings, then we take that trauma and we put it back into the collective instead of doing it again in a more humane way where we actually create understanding from the trauma. It's like we can also create new light from it, but that is a process that takes a bit more time than just reacting to it and creating from it. So that's what I'm getting for some of you. That you may not want to be seduced by these dark feelings straight away. Take some time with it, sit with it. You know, ask yourself if this is really your higher self, your highest potential as a human being, or if it's kind of like an old timeline, you know, a past life wanting to be played out again. That's what I'm getting. And then there were also two cards coming out next to this, the Sun and the Emperor. I'm definitely getting here this ability to be still with the Emperor and the tree and not to react. It's the ability to hold a lot of low vibrational feelings without letting them drive us. You know, this builds power. This builds a lot of power. It builds a lot of dark power. Being able to feel demons, feel like demons feel, you know, feel their feelings, their rage, their anger, yet have the choice, you know, the free will to actually choose whether you act on it or whether you don't. That is really like how you build a lot of dark power, but turning it into light. You know, it's like overcoming past lives, overcoming the darkness within our collective consciousness. So for some of you, you're definitely on this path. You are definitely on this path. And it's really, really growing your power, your connection, your sense of stability, your security. You may not see the results fast or yet, but I would say don't be greedy, don't be short-sighted. If you have the consciousness to do this, you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded, you will get through it, but it's demanding. It takes time. It takes time to build a tree. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. So remember that. If you're doing this, you're special in the sense that not everyone has this type of emotional capacity at this point in time. So trust yourself. Just let's get one final card here. Anything else? Wow. Wow. Again, the Two of Cups underneath the deck. I didn't even speak about that relationship aspect to this. And the cards coming out, the Empress and the Daughter of Pentacles. So I don't even feel like I'm gonna be able to kind of get into the significance of these cards in this reading. It's probably gonna be significant to all of you in different ways. That's what I'm getting. But this is a natural pair, you know, so there is definitely here, this reading is for people that you're really powerful, energetic beings. Like you have a lot of potential. You have the potential to become this 5-pointed star. And just to give you one reference, this is also called the Seal of Solomon. And so in Christianity, this was a seal that it was only for very, very special people, kings, you know, people that is able to kind of own their own land, meaning that they create their own world fully. It's like the most kind of stable masculine archetype that won't have to work very hard in their lives. And so if you're on this path and you resonate with this, that is the type of consciousness that you have the opportunity to build right now. The king is also the energy of union, which I see here. You know, the king is the heart chakra. It's the bridge between the higher levels of consciousness and the earthly realms. So it is, in a sense, the manifester. You know, the one that can manifest, the one with the sword, that can both initiate and manifest. And the sword is also an element of actually having a choice, choosing what type of life you're gonna live. So yeah, there is just a lot of information here. It's a very rich time for you now. Also the High Priestess wants to be seen. Don't sleep on this. If this resonates at all, don't sleep on this. Develop your abilities, take it seriously, protect yourself, and give yourself the credit you deserve. And this might definitely be fueled or driven by some type of relationship as well. The twin flame relationships, a lot of the times this talks about the ancient art of Tantra. You know, it's actually meant to, like in the initial phases, it's meant to be a spiritual connection. If you look back to ancient forms of Tantra in India, that was never about physical connection. It was someone that chose to be single and to connect to their essentially twin flame in the astral to build the Solomon seal, really, like to fully balance out their inner feminine and masculine. Carl Jung also talks about this, you know, he calls it anima and animus, and here is also anima mundi. So there's just a lot of, I feel, richness within these symbols that presents themselves here. Also, actually, when this card came out in the beginning, underneath the deck was the kiss. So yeah, I feel like for some of you, this may definitely be linked to relationship, the twin flame journey, all of that, creating new templates, union. It's really cool. So yes, I would say have your own back in this. Trust yourself, because you're really growing a lot of cool powers. So I'm gonna end it there. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye.